Hey guys, thank you very much for tuning in to the latest episode of Raw Van Talks. Today I'm going to talk to you about networking. Now, for those of you who are experienced business owners, if you are watching this, you kind of generally know these points anyway, but for those that are new or up and coming or growing their business or still in the development of learning what works and what doesn't work, this is the purpose for those kind of people. One of the biggest mistakes I personally made for many years was not networking enough or effectively. And sometimes, depending on what your personality is like, that can be easy to do, it can be really difficult to do. And putting yourself out there to get to know people in other businesses, especially if they're not related to your field of expertise, can be a little bit uncomfortable, to say the least. I find it personally uncomfortable trying to network in a networking environment that is conventionally set up by a third-party company in which you pay for the privilege. I find that uncomfortable. Now, it's not to say that it's ineffective, I just don't feel comfortable there, and so that kind of messes with my confidence or whatever. Now, networking for me over the course of the last 3 years has proved to be one of the biggest assets to my business. Knowing the right people, knowing people in the same industry, knowing people who, if you want to call them your competition, I prefer to call them colleagues, or your peers within the industry. Networking with good, decent other businesses is actually probably more productive than if you were to try and have a rivalry with your competition. And the reason for this is because that when you get stuck doing work or getting asked to do work that you might not be able to accommodate your customer for, having a network of somebody who's in the same field but maybe focuses on those areas more. So say for instance tree surgeon arborist work, if you know somebody, it's easier to recommend them and give them a turn. And what you'll find is that because they come across the same customer type, that when they ask them about, do you do grass cutting or hedge cutting, they say no, we're kind of too busy doing this, they will come back and recommend you if you've got a good enough relationship. So networking can be very, very valuable in that way. In other ways, it can be even more of a benefit. To give you an example of somebody that I know who was going out self-employed, and because he had networked with other gardeners, that he kind of had a support network of guys who were willing to share with him information about pricing, about not leaving yourself too short in this area, about where to focus in that area, and things that were kind of maybe a little bit more of a difficult path to do when you're when you're on your own. I know that for me, a lot of my experience comes from lots and lots and lots of mistakes, mistake after mistake after mistake, but I never had a mentor. I never had someone to kind of show me the ropes. So my lessons learned have, for the most part, been learned the hard way. So networking can be, very good in terms of actual financial return of work being passed your way, but sometimes the valuable information that you get from other experienced businessmen can be far more valuable and save you time and heartache in the long run. So if you're out and about and you see somebody that's another gardener, another company, don't be afraid to stop and say hello, have a chat with them about things, because you never know where networking with these individuals could actually come back and really help you out with your business, and vice versa, that that you would be able to help them at certain times as well. So it's what goes around comes around. Networking 100% should be very high up on your list. So those are my thoughts. Thanks for watching. Video done.